Hey up guys, welcome to the Heath Wargaming podcast. Bit of a new thing for us today. I've got me and my good friend Andy on the show today, and we're going to go through all of the new stuff this week. We've had loads of different releases, quite exciting. But first, before we get into anything, I want to introduce Andy, one of my best friends, Warhammer OG. Plays Space Wolves and what other stuff do you play, Andy?
Death Guard mainly, mate. But yeah,
He plays,
I do like a bit of CSM as well.
Yeah, I hate it because all the water towns and stuff. So what I thought I'd do to get started into it, I thought we could do a bit of a fun little intro, and I'll do this with every guest we have on. 10 quickfire questions. Now, we've got some interesting questions and controversial questions. Only 10. I don't want you to linger too much on them. But if you're all right with that, mate, you ready to answer some questions?
As long as there's nothing weird in there.
Right. So 1 to 10. Quick, no hesitation. What?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Favourite model of all time?
Mortarian.
Answer. What gadget couldn't you live without?
The laser now.
Yeah, it's a shout, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an absolute shout.
I used to think it was like
Bit gimmicky.
proper throbbers weapon like, but
For robbers.
yeah.
Round or square cornered dice?
Square.
Yeah, I've gone to the square side as well. Favourite Legion of Space Marines?
Space Marines.
Good or bad?
Got me Space Wolves.
Space Wolves. I'm going to answer it. What God of Chaos?
No.
Yeah, fair. This is one I wish I was answering. Which weapon would you choose to wield in the 40k setting?
Plague Flail.
Oh, it's an answer. I'd have something like a double-handed like thunder hammer.
Oh yeah.
Do you know something like that? But
Yeah.
I remember when 9th edition that plague flail was horrific.
Oh, if it kicked off, you'd do a squad with one model.
Who would your favoured champion be? You had to pick a champion from the 40k millennia.
I kind of like Ragnar Blackmane.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. Faction you hate the most?
Although.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
But,
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Tau.
No.
No. Which rule or ability would you remove from the game?
Sustain 2.
What, of Tau?
Of anyone.
Why?
I don't like it.
Have you not got access to Sustain 2? Oh, you
It's
used to. You're such a hypocrite. 9th edition, fucking Space Wolves.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Sustain. Wolfen.
Just take out an Orc Stomp.
Last one. Yeah, it did actually happen. 5 Wolfen minced up my Orc Stomper, didn't they?
Yeah.
One army to play for the rest of your life.
So we can only play one army?
You got one army for the rest of your life. That's what you've got to play.
Death Guard.
Yeah, it's got to be anti.
Yeah.
Cool. Good answers there, mate, to be fair. The double-handed flail, that's such a shout. I could just see
Just
me
remember
like...
how horrendous it was.
Yeah.
And one little guy on
I
a
know.
30 mil base.
Face,
Like, what?
just knocking people about. But yeah, cheers for the answers. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Right, moving on from that then. We're going to have a look now at the first initial thoughts of the Death Guard and World Eater releases we've seen. Obviously, we haven't seen the codexes yet. They are to come. They are on order. But today, especially on the 22nd, they've released 2 data sheets, which I won't go through with Jan, because this has been bugging me all day. And me and Andy, I told him last night, do not talk to me about any releases until we get the podcast today, because I just wanted to get my initial thoughts and my initial outrage out of the way straight away. So we've seen the sheets of the Slaughterbound and the Lord of Epoxies. What do you think, Andy? Before I go on a rant.
To be honest, I haven't seen the World Eaters one. The Death Guard one's pretty good, although I do think having lethal hits and dev wounds is a bit...
Yeah. Have you got... Obviously, we don't know, but do you think we'll get access to anything in the Codex which will re-roll wounds?
Don't know. We don't have it.
You don't really. You're not an army which gets a load of
I think it's
anyway.
because we've been stuck in the index for so long. I think maybe.
So you say you haven't seen the Slaughterbound?
No.
That big dude on that, is he on a 50 mil base?
Yeah.
He's the same exact stats as your Lord of Epoxies.
T6.
No, the attacks.
Oh, the attack.
The attacks. It's strength 8, AP 2, 2 damage for both dudes. So they've released them both, and they both got the exact same.
That's crazy, isn't it? Because normally Corn would lean to always has. Typically, they've either had more attacks or 1 pip of strength or something.
It just boggles my mind. He should be strength. He should be strength 9, AP 2 for 3 damage. He's the same as like, I know Death Guard aren't renowned for punching super hard.
No.
But even he's strength 8, which is great for you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal for you and lethals, because sorry. So effectively, when you get in contagion, it's going to be AP 3, 2 damage.
Yeah.
Which will go into the Death Guard things in a minute, because I know you can't wait for go on to that. But how is he only strength 8 AP 2, 2 damage?
Yeah, it's kind of strange, that, isn't it?
Strange. It's like, oh, so this is another point as well. So what are, the Berserkers?
Yeah.
They've always been strength 5.
Yeah.
Always, as long that's been their thing. They're an extra strength. They've been nerfed to strength 4. Strength 4.
We're going to give them Lance or something like that.
The detachment new rule is strength. You get the Blood Angels plus 2 strength, plus 1 attack. But still, if you get charged and you're on the clapback, strength 4, you're wounding Marines on 4s.
Yeah.
And then even with Lance nowadays, if you're on the charge, it's still 3s.
Yeah.
You think a unit of 8 man, a unit of Berserkers going in should be wounding them on 3s at least. Obviously with the plus 2 strength. But even into Marines, even if you kept the strength 5 and give them the extra 2 strength, you still wounded them on 3s. It's not that much of a massive. It's only an extra strength, isn't it? But
yeah, because normally if you had like just a set profile across all 4 of the Chaos Gods, you'd expect the Nurgle one to be an extra toughness.
Yeah.
The Khorne one to be an extra strength, wouldn't you? Normally.
Yeah, strength 4 Berserkers. I've never known that. It just boggles my mind how they think they can just... Because it just makes them bog standard Marines now. They're basically Legionaries. Because Legionaries are the accursed weapons are strength 4 AP1, aren't they?
I suppose it's going to depend on what they give them as their ability, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because we haven't seen any, have we?
You might get something like, I don't know, +1 to wound if they're below a certain toughness or something.
Oh yeah, well the Death Company have got that, haven't they? Where because they've got it where you +1 to, I can't remember. I don't know if it's +1 to hit if you're below starting strength, and then +1 to wound if you're below half strength.
Yeah.
So it might be something similar, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Also while we're on the subject of World Eaters, have you seen what Angron now does?
No.
So you obviously know, because I play World Eaters, you get the dice now.
Yeah.
What they've done is said, obviously this all alleged for leaks and stuff, but they've said now that instead of you getting all your blood rolls,
right,
but you can auto switch them out for bring Angron back. It's 8 wounds. Now a lot of people have been saying this is bad, but if I can guarantee Angron coming back every single turn, I'll go and kill 50 points of Rangers in the middle. I'll go and kamikaze him in. Okay, I'll bring him back. He's on 8 wounds. He's just a massive demon prince at that point when you bring him back, isn't he?
You've still got to dedicate a lot to get through that profile.
He's
if he hits you,
that's it.
Then Lance Cannon hands.
Lance Cannon hands. He's also obviously allegedly lost the reroll Ulri.
I think Morty's going to lose his ignore.
So this is interesting. So he's also lost all of his thingies, but now he ignores all modifiers instead, which is strange because if you think about Morty, I don't think Morty will lose it. Surely not.
I don't know. That's what people are talking about.
It's a bit strange. Anyway, so he'll come back on 8 wounds, which is crazy. Like everybody's moaning, but I think that's pretty good.
8 wounds is still a bit chewed through. Because Gilliman comes back on 6, doesn't he?
And he's hard enough shift.
Yeah.
And he's more tough than Big Man, but I don't know. I just think I will happily get rid of all those dice.
Yeah.
To get Angron back, 100%. But it will all depend on points.
You can do that every turn?
Yes, I believe. They've also...
That's a lot of free points for your army, that is.
So they've also, as well, while we're on the subject of the blood rolls, they've also lost 2 of their main rolls. They've lost
the movement one.
They've lost the move.
Yeah.
But that's now baked into the data sheets. Khorne Berserkers are now movement 8.
Okay.
The
That's
eight
decent.
bounder up to movement 10. They've lost the advance and charge, which makes them so less rapid because they were so unpredictable.
Yeah, if you start rolling sixes
Yeah,
on
you
the
just.
advance,
I had it over the
you're
weekend
flying,
where
aren't
they were all over my deployment term one. It was just,
Yeah.
it was just because there was nothing I could do about it.
no.
Because suddenly they're in their deployment and they just pop up like they just teleported in.
Unless you spent 500 points on screening.
Screening 60 poxwalkers.
Getting jailed by 8 bound.
And then
That's
they've
horrendous.
also lost the feel no pain.
That's big, isn't it?
That's massive because I've always said it from index days.
Yeah.
He's such a glass hammer. They'll run in and they will pay with their lives for that.
Yeah.
So lose and like you start popping 5-up feel no pains on those 8 bound and they become a real problem.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it. You've seen it against me. You just start popping off with those feel no pains, and all of a sudden you've still got six blokes stuck there.
Like, well, it should only be half the squad.
But what they've replaced it with, which I think's really good, they've replaced it with a 6-inch pile-in and consolidate, which in somewhat negates the more movement you get because you've only got to get one dude in. And then, then I'll just consolidate 6 and pile in 6. And then all of a sudden, you've got 6 40mm bases plus the new character potentially, who weren't that far away, just tying up everything. And once they killed Summit, they're tagging everything they can touch.
See, I like that. Changing the movement for that, because all they've done there is basically move it into a higher player skill.
Yeah.
And that's also for the opponent as well, because they've got to watch out for that and try and not let that happen at the same time.
But how can
As opposed to, I'm just moving in a straight
How can
line.
you possibly plan for a 6-inch pile and consolidate? So
It's rough, innit?
when Aiden did that one in January,
blind.
what was he using every round?
Yeah.
The 6-inch piling.
When I used that detachment, I was trying to look for that everywhere I was going.
It's so good.
Because that's when I ran that 18 Death Shroud.
Yeah.
Like,
just pinking them off everything.
But for Death Shroud, you piling in 6 inches, that's a turn and a half of movement.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy good for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you already, 8 bound already move fast, but you still can all of a sudden end up and your opponent's going to be like, whoa.
Well, we've
why
seen it,
are
haven't
they
we? Where you've charged the midboard, you pile in 6, okay, so I've wrapped the unit, I'm at the back of the unit, I've killed him, and then I'm piling in 6 now, so I'm on your home. I'm in your home deployment first turn potentially,
causing mega problems.
and you can't shift 6 of them Death Shroud easy, can you?
No.
2-up save and -1 to wound, just a pain in the arse.
No, T7.
Oh, they go. Oh, is that what they're saying? Well, the
So
Lord of Poxon is T6,
Yeah.
and he goes with Plague Marine. So the rumours of, obviously, Andy's the Death Guard specialist. Just to finish off,
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
well, you've been playing them longer than anybody I know, so
Yeah,
I like to feel like you've got some sort of an idea.
I'll take that.
And just to finish off on the World Eater thing, they've gained Dev Wounds, which now leads me to think. Obviously, when the gaming store Saturday, and some of the lads have been talking now, 8 bound have now got anti-monster vehicle 3+. Now, there has surely got to be some caveat that they don't get dev wounds.
Yeah,
because them running them with dev wounds on anti-vehicle monster, they'll one-shot anything in the game, monster or vehicle-wise. Because they'll have so many attacks. 3-ups, damage, 2 dev wounds. They'll have to do something about that, because that is just unnecessary.
Do you reckon they've just missed that?
How could you miss that? Anti-vehicle... Because I've been doing it. I was doing it with Aldari. And, anti-3+ infantry, assuming, wiping a unit of Death Shroud.
It's nasty, that is.
But even like the Slaughterbound, the new character, he's just like... His strength, it's really like... I don't play World Eaters all the time. It's more like a hobby army. But strength 8 AP2 damage for a big dude not like that. He's the same size as Gilliman. Do you know, he's not...
Yeah.
What's the lore behind him? He's a dude with a bloodthirster inside him or something, like the rage of a bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
It's something along them lines. And he's strength 8. He's strength 8.
Yeah, see.
Oh, I'll tell you what though. Sorry. Actually, thinking about it. On the charge, he does go up to strength 10.
That's a break point, isn't it?
But still.
Not anymore for Plague Marines, then.
No. No. But he's still he's the same he's the same thingy as your Lord Apostle, which just doesn't sit right with me.
No.
But then saying that, what point does it get? Okay, then give him strength 10, and then all of a sudden he's strength 12 on the charge. I suppose it's like anything. He'll just either hit hard or get squished, I think. But one thing I do like is he now resurrects a model every turn. And on 8 bound, where they like 55 points a model.
Yeah, before him, you didn't have a character for 8 bound, did you?
No. I suppose it unlocks it for enhancements and stuff, because we haven't seen any enhancements, have we yet?
And you don't know what his ability is either, do you?
Yeah,
do you?
That's what it is. He gets the captain rule as well.
Oh, so free strat.
No, he gets the +3 attacks and dev wounds for a turn. But then if you're already getting...
Ooh. So then they might have dev wounds to synergise with that.
Yeah, I don't know how it works without seeing the codex. We can only go off what we've seen, can't we? But I don't know, it just feels a bit underwhelming, that strength 8 AP2 damage. He's just a thunder hammer, basically. Well, I suppose if you get him on the charge, you can be quite nasty, but it's still only 2 damage.
What's the 8 bound ability, or don't you know yet?
Don't know yet.
See, because their ability might buff him.
Yeah.
If he's in the unit.
Yeah. Tell you what I can't wait for, you're going to see loads of demon allies. Which I'm thinking, Ant was talking about today over the weekend, a good friend of mine, Andy's. He was thinking about 3 Bloodthirsters and Angron. Because you're not paying the infantry tax, are you? Then?
Yeah. Just go for the big boys.
Just three Bloodthirsters and Angrons enough to make it.
You don't want to see that the other side of the table.
Because
unless you sat with 70.
Yeah, unless you're sat that side of the table, you don't want to see it.
No.
So let's talk about the Death Guard a bit. So I haven't seen much of it, and I didn't really want to dive that deep into it because I know Andy's got his own thoughts about stuff. So last night, obviously, all the stuff dropped, and I was like trying to ring him, but he was nowhere to be seen because he had a heavy weekend on his birthday. But it's all worked well because we didn't get a chance to talk about it just friends. So it's cool to get his first initial reactions about it. So Andy, what do we think about the new army rule?
I'm excited for the army rule. I can't believe they kept
it's so good.
The -1.
The -1 save is, and it's outright. Everybody said it. Aiden said it on his podcast the other week.
Yeah.
It's only not been nerfed because Death Guard datasheets are terrible. Now, let's not hope that the codex or the datasheets are terrible.
That's the issue.
But I can't see it being made. There's been so much hype about it. The detachments are looking great from what I've heard off yourself, but the -1 save is so great. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I've always been a big fan because of our doubles lists. Yeah. Because when I take the tank list or Aldar, and suddenly everything's -1 save.
And -1 toughness.
So we're wounding everything on 3s at -3. I mean, when we were doing the doubles in Element games, we had a Predator pumping out some serious AP.
Oh, ridiculous.
So into infantry, they were let's just use last cannons for exaggeration, but they were AP3, AP4 because you're infantry, AP5 because of the contagion.
Yeah.
Then Andy, if he was running his Predators, would be an extra AP because of...
you could put Ferric Blight.
I don't know.
And a 6 to wound would be another AP.
Which is just horrific. But yeah, the mass ones...
AP7 last
ignores cover.
Just
because of Boil Blight.
It's done. But,
so the -1 save is disgusting. I can't believe they've kept it because everybody was saying how they were going to get rid of it as well, weren't they?
Well, that was the thought.
Or keep it as a detachment lock. Because one thing we mentioned off camera is now Flyblown get it, it just makes them so much better.
Yeah. We tried to run that a couple of times. In fact, the first time we ran it was when we were at that tournament and I ended up getting Tau on the first game.
No.
And then we were speaking, me and the opponent were speaking before the game, and proper sound guy, and he was saying that he plays against Aiden.
Yeah.
And so he knew exactly what I was going to try and do with the 18 Death Shroud.
But
and then he he rolled for deploy first and just blocked all my scout.
No, yeah.
And then most of his stuff ignored me stealth. So I didn't have an army rule.
That's the worst, isn't it?
I'm like, oh great,
You
so
might
I'll
as well
just play without an army rule. Like
Oh.
original 10th edition Death Guard.
Oh, that's terrible.
But,
and it's when it just dropped as well, wasn't it? So everybody was excited about
oh,
it.
God,
Everybody was excited about it, and then Aiden went and won at the Doomsday event in January. And then everyone was like, oh, it's on the menu. And then you've turned up there, and he's just like, I ignore everything you do.
Yeah.
That was the funniest, because I walked over to your table, he's like, he's just ignoring everything I want to do.
And then the other week, I played you with it against Orcs.
Oh, we had a fantastic
game. And hey, it was a bit different, but we both noticed it wasn't very killing.
No.
Because a lot of our weapons are AP1.
Yeah, when you need a -1 save, like...
AP1 or AP2, and then if someone drops armor contempt, it's like...
Oh, yeah, you're in 3 up and 4 up saves against it, and it's not any
we
good.
We just don't produce enough attacks.
It's absolutely no good. Another thing I wanted to touch on as well is the World Eaters. Sorry for jumping back to World Eaters, but they've got an attachment for transports. Do you think you'll see anything like that, or is there anything like that in the Death Guard previews we've seen?
It's looking like there's a vehicle heavy one.
Vehicle or transport heavy one?
Vehicle, not transport. Well, vehicle demon engine.
Ooh, we've seen that strat, haven't we?
We had one in 8th edition and 9th.
What was that strat?
The strat for it's Font of Filth. You can put assault on a tank, but the core rule for it is if you're playing 2K, you can pick 2 units each turn, and if they're outside of 12 inches of you, they're classed as being in contagion range. So whichever one you've picked will be on that vehicle.
Wow, that's crazy.
Which is quite good, because obviously then you're either giving a -1 to hit, -1 save, or -1 leadership, OC, and movement.
I'll tell you what, that'd be good into like Tau, where they're naturally hitting on 4s.
Yeah.
Here, have this -1 to hit.
I mean, it used to be -1 weapon skill, ballistic skill, didn't it?
Oh, is that not it anymore?
No, it's just to hit now. So it's been nerfed a bit, but I get it, because you can do some ridiculous stuff with Nurglings.
Oh, we've seen it,
Typhus. Giving people -2 to hit is horrendous, isn't it?
I remember at the start of the edition, I was running Assault Terminators. No, he wasn't even me, it was another guy who used to play against. And he was like, yeah, 4s to hit. No, sorry, you're -1 ballistic skill. And then because of Nurglings, you were overwatching with
6s with Thunder on.
It was
horrendous.
Horrific.
That just neutered a squad, wasn't it? That?
I mean, 6s to hit is just it's terrible.
Yeah. So the basic army rule now, well, at the moment as it is you've got your 3, 6, 9 inch increase each turn for your contagion range, which gives out a -1 toughness, and then we pick one of them 3, which is -1 weapon skill, ballistic skill, -1 save, and the OC one. But you also get sticky objectives. Yeah. So now moving forward, they've rolled a bit of that in, but the sticky's gone. But apparently that's going to stay in the
play company.
The one that's staying as the play company type thing. And then there's a Poxwalker one.
Oh, yes!
Which I
we were talking about this the other week.
Yeah. So,
because you've got so many Poxwalkers.
If they go back and sort of go, they're now your troop option, obviously you can run 6 troops, can't you? So you could then run 120 Poxwalkers.
Have I seen a strat which allows you to make them OC2? Or am I just making that up?
Yes, and there's also a strat where Poxwalkers can take damage for units within 3 inches of them.
Oh, like a bodyguard rule?
Yeah.
Oh my god, just imagine 6 death shrouds. Is it infantry?
Yeah, and the problem is you have to take 1 Poxwalker for each pip of damage, and you don't get your feel no pains. So say you were shooting my Death Shroud Terminators with a las cannon, and you roll a 6 on the damage.
You have to take 6.
7 Poxwalkers die.
+1. Ooh.
And then it's like, do I want to do that, or just lose the 1 Terminator?
Yeah, fairs. There'll be a strat for regen them, though, won't there?
Probably.
No, is that not the rule, actually? What's the rule?
Well, at the moment.
No, the The Poxwalker one?
At the moment, if they kill infantry in combat, they come back.
No, what's the new detachment rule for that Poxwalker one? Is it
I
where...
haven't seen that
I'm
yet.
sure, I haven't really looked into it. It's the only one I can think of top of my head. Do you get a full strength unit back?
Oh, yeah, for a CP.
No, I think that's the actual
you
detachment rule.
get a 10-man unit put into reserves, that's it.
Oh, scoring.
Yeah.
Drop it in for engage or establish or just be annoying.
Yeah.
Because you strap reserve men throwing that in its charge because you're not doing anything else.
I think it drops to 10 because obviously...
You don't want 20-man units coming back, do you?
If they did allow for 120 Poxwalkers to start on the board, and then as the units are dying, 20s are coming back. That's outrageous.
Because they're hard to
10s
shift.
are coming back. You can at least half the Poxwalkers by killing 120.
They're so hard to shift. And they're so annoying. That was our logic behind our last doubles tournament. We were like, I'm going to take all the tanks and Andy's going to take annoying stuff. Yeah. So we took so many Poxwalkers and Death Shroud with a -1 to wound. And people were just sick of shooting them with it because they were just so annoying.
You get them Death Shroud in cover, they're hard to shift.
They are hard to shift. That -1, do you think they'll keep the -1?
I don't know because it's looking like they're going to go up to T7.
Oh, that's custodial level toughness.
Yeah.
But it is Death Guard. Yeah, fair. Yeah, whatever, fair.
But I don't get why it's 2 pips higher than a normal Terminator.
Oh, yeah, because everyone's
that's a bit strong. And if we got Plague Marines in power armor, 1 toughness higher than Terminators, that doesn't look right, does it?
Yeah, but no. But then you think of Death Guard, and that is their thing. They are resilient, aren't they? They're tough. How big do you think it'll be? Being toughness 6 instead of toughness 5?
I don't think it does that much.
I think it'll do
there
more than you
are
think.
A few strength 6 weapons knocking around, aren't there? So they'll go obviously 4s instead of 3s, wounding us, which have been more resilient on the Plague Marines.
Trying to think if it.
I'm hoping, and I know a lot of people sort of the same way. We go back to being more of an elite army than a horde one, but then have the option to go into.
Do you think that all the so to relate to the Pox Lord? What do you think about his abilities? Have you seen them?
No.
So his abilities are you can extend your contagion by 3 inches, or loan up a unit for 18 inches, your unit.
Yeah, so they're combining some ideas out of Flyblown and Plague Company for...
When you think that load of Poxes is pumping out 12-inch contagion, it sort of negates your Bannerman, really.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking, and along with that, the tank detachment where you can pick...
Oh my God, you have contagion everywhere.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, you're sort of negating the fact that... Because a lot of my recent games with us, I've tried the icon bearer, and it's it's knowing when to use him and
how many points do you think he'll be, the Pox Lord?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully they'll increase our points a little bit, but make us a bit more resilient. Because I mean, you go back before when we had Disgustingly Resilient, it's -1 damage.
Oh,
it's like you have your Eldar jetbacks 2 damage.
Yeah,
we're halving your efficiency. Yeah. It's like then a Plague Marine can just walk up the board without a Rhino
because they're not getting popped off. Are they? We were talking about this over the weekend as well, saying how everything on the World Eaters Codex is damage 2.
Yeah.
Suddenly you pop -1 damage and you just absolutely annihilate them.
I'll just walk 18 Death Shroud at you.
What are you going to do?
-1 damage, they'd be there forever. But...
They won't be there forever, especially.
I sort of knew they wouldn't go back to that because it's weird. I think they really struggle to balance Death Guard because of how slow we are.
Yeah.
So they end up giving us some ridiculous rule like discussing resilience.
What, like -1 save?
And -1 save to give us a chance. So yeah, but you can't really make us faster because that's stupid.
No, well, he says it, doesn't he? 40k is 1 in the movement phase. And he's basically, he's right, because that's how you score and there's your bread and butter. But when you start, I think it's good that they give you that strat for advance and shoot on a vehicle, because to be honest, vehicles are moving fast anyway, aren't they? It's not like they shouldn't be slower because they're a Death Guard vehicle, because why are they slow?
Yeah.
They're not hulkish and brutish, especially the predators, because they aren't demon. They aren't demon.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Not demon engines.
They're not demon engines. They're just normal tanks. So why should they be slower?
Yeah.
So I used to like it when you used to run a rhino, because the rhino is the fastest thing you've got because it moves 12.
Yeah.
I'm not used to their speed, Andy, because everything else moves 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah. Fox Walk is going down when they changed the addition and went from 5-inch to 4-inch movement. I didn't realise how big that was, but I suppose you think about it, it's 20%.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's like a
That's
big
why
deal,
they thrive in flybone, though, innit? Because the scout move, you're getting more of their movement.
Especially if you go first.
Yeah,
if you go first, like, because when we played, I went first against the Orcs. I was in the middle of the board.
Yeah, what a game that was. So we've both been heavily running vehicle heavy lists. Yeah. So I've been running a stupid tank list, which is just disgusting. And he'd been running the Plague Storm version of it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I text him like, don't prep for bring anti-tank because I'm going to bring something weird. And I turned up with like 110 infantry. Then all of a sudden he turns up with like 110 infantry. Yeah. And then because he's brought all the combat ever, we just ran at each other in the midboard and we were just having a slap fest. But it's such a different... It's good to have those games sometimes as well, because sometimes we get lost in...
The competitiveness.
I'm so mad for it as well. Like, I'll look at a list and I'll be like, oh, I'm dying to use this model, but actually, no, it's terrible. Even though I spent 20 hours painting it and I love it dearly, I'm not feeling that because it's rubbish. But it's not even actually that bad. It's just because it's not up to...
It's just not top tier, yeah.
And it's great to have games like that. Like, we took our lads Warhammer World last Monday, and I was running Orcs, and we were just like throwing the most random stuff in. And it was just great because we're all mad for it because we'll all be wanting the best lists and the most deadly and most killy. But it's nice to have those sort of games where you take a step back and think, oh, actually, this is Warhammer. It's not all, let's get these 3 points and let's take the midboard. Yeah. Come on, let's steal that objective. So it's good to have that. How do you feel the points will change with the new Death Guard Codex?
I don't really know. Like I was saying, I hope they go up a bit, but the abilities get better.
Yeah, so it sort of negates it.
Well, you sort of look at Morty at the moment. It's 300 points.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean,
it's so good.
That's pretty crazy for a Primarch, really.
Yeah. Gilliman's 350. Gilliman's like 350. Magnus is 400 odd.
And then he gets 5 attacks. So you go into a unit of intercessors,
and you statistically
you roll one in there, and that's it. And you're like, oh, great, I'm in combat for another turn.
Yeah, unless somebody comes and sorts them out.
Like any 5-man models.
Do you think he'll get a bit of a buff melee wise?
I think so.
He's got to.
He's got that giant scythe. He don't do anything.
What's his sweep? His sweep attack's only 1 damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
1 damage on a sweep attack is pathetic for a Primarch, isn't it?
Crazy, isn't it?
Like, they did that to the Lion, though, when they changed the Lion's ability.
Yeah, they go up to 2 on that.
It went up to 2.
How many attacks did he get on the sweep?
The Lion?
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, see,
the Lion, 16?
Morty gets 15. But the
1 damage is terrible. You got to kill him, put like cultists and stuff. Yeah.
But it's almost like you just don't even see it as an option. I can't even think I've ever used it.
No? Yeah, because what's the point?
Because it's like AP1 as well.
It's strength.
7, I want to say.
7? Well, you're managing 1 toughness. Yeah. So there's technically 2s on Marines and stuff, ain't it?
Yeah.
But still, yeah, I know what you're saying. Damage 1's not it. On a Primarch.
Yeah.
That's horrendous behaviour. and his damage 4 Scythe seems a bit crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because you think you'd either give it once or also give him a D6 plus 1 attack or something. At least you can get that 7 damage if you need it. Not just like we've had it where you've charged them to tanks. 5 attacks, you've missed 2 of them. Yeah. You've dropped 1 wound, so 2 wounds have gone through. And all of a sudden, statistically, you can't kill him because you only at most you're getting 2 through, which is 8 damage.
And they just sit there with 3 wounds. Or blanket damage.
Flashbacks to Adept of the Omnissiah. Oh, shivers. So what?
And then you'll just give him +1 to hit anyway, even if he is degraded.
What are the other detachments like, mate?
So there's a Terminator one.
Ooh.
Death Lord's Chosen.
What do you think that's going to be?
It's got to be pumping up the Blight Lords.
Oh, Because
They've
been shat on for so long.
They've just been on the shelf getting bear dust.
They've been getting dusty for so long.
Mate. Well, I used them against you the other week, didn't I?
Into that Orcs, yeah.
And they were okay.
They were only okay because I was hitting you with AP1 stuff.
We shouldn't have the cheapest Terminators in the game.
No, absolutely not. Especially if they go up to T7.
Yeah. I mean, the T6 now.
Yeah.
But it's like...
Unless what are we basing the +1 toughness off? Just the Lord Epoxies?
Yeah.
What if it's just him who's T6?
Then everything I'm talking about is wrong.
But we can't possibly know, can we?
No.
Because nobody knows unless you've got the codex.
No.
Because thinking about it, should you have T7 Terminators?
Not really.
That's a bit excessive.
It is.
When you think walkers and stuff are T7.
I think the thing with that is, if they have gone to T7, is to protect you from las cannons and stuff in it. Because it's 3s then instead of 2s.
Yeah.
And
but still,
T7. 15% more durable against anything strength 12 then, aren't you?
Because if they go to T7, they should 100% not have -1 to wound. Because that would piss me right off.
Because that effectively is -1 to wound.
Because I'm just thinking about it now. If I was to charge Blood Angels in with +2 strength, I'm still wounding them on 5s.
Yeah.
Still wounding them on 5s. What is that about?
Yeah, you're just going to bounce then, aren't you?
5s to wound on something you're scared to charge anyway because the slapback is horrific.
Yeah, because we'll be 2s hitting you back.
Just to rub it in. 2s.
Yeah.
That might be Andy saying the 2s.
Yeah.
What do you think they'll do with the Death Shroud sweep attack? Because that's been a bit naff as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think you can make it much better because
all of a sudden then you start getting elite killers as well, don't you?
Yeah.
What is it currently? Is it no AP?
I think it's AP1. I just don't use it.
No.
Well, there's probably AP0
and then it goes up to
AP1 with Contagion. But I mean, like you were saying before, if you're getting into a group of cultists, you probably use it. Because you're taking the 6 save off them.
If me personally, if I see a group of 6 Death Shroud charging them 10 culties, don't worry, mate, I'll pick them up. I'm not letting you roll it.
Yeah. And it's probably a misplay on my part as well.
What, have you charged them into cultists?
220 points.
It's a 50-point cultist squad.
Yeah.
We've all had to do it.
I think we've lost cultists as well.
No.
I think we have.
You can't lose cultists.
What's the rumour knocking around?
But tell you what I'm glad about. That so it saddened me because I talked about this last week. Whereas I thought we were going to lose all the Predators and Halberds because the Emperor's Children Codex, which is I've just turned up, by the way. So expect to be facing that soon. But I was so scared of not having any Predators or any sort of anti-tank.
They've been like the backbone of a lot of Chaos armies for a while.
Mate, the Predators have not shined like this in an edition for how long? No. Everybody's got 3 Predators in a list. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. And my favourite event of all time will be when we took them 6 Predators. Yeah. We went to a doubles list for people who don't know. We went to a doubles tournament and there was no restriction on. Basically, the only restriction was if I was running Blood Angels and he was running Salamanders, you couldn't use 2 Predator Destructors because they were the same. They were the same data sheet. But because he was running Death Guard and it was Death Guard Chaos Predator, it was fine. So we went and took 6 Predator Destructors against 2 Marine armies. And oh my God, what a day that was. We beat him and it was turn 2. To be fair, he ran all 2,000 points of Marine bodies with no envolves at us. What could we do? We couldn't not shoot him.
Yeah.
So we basically tabled him and they had 1 movement phase basically, didn't they?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was we touched him bad.
It was bad.
And he was like, yeah, but look at you using your Predator list. Everybody's running Predators. So ever since then, it's just been an icon. I'd take the Predators.
Thing is, we won the other 2 games as well.
Yeah.
Not as badly as that, but the other players were fine.
Yeah, it was just him. And then, remember when he went over to his mate? Oh, my mate Tio's at some big event and they told you you've been cheating. Hang on. So I went round to
every Death God player.
To every Death God player. Excuse me, are you playing the rule today, gentlemen? Yeah, where you get your opponents. And then we found it when we got home. Aidan Smalley, obviously shout out to the Disgusting Resilient Podcast legends, where they was like, clip this for all you salty players who don't think you should get the buff. Because it's not a buff to your teammate, it's a debuff to you. So now I've just got that clipped in my phone, waiting for somebody querying me. I'm just going to airdrop it to them, like, I'm that bastard. I'm that bitch. Just time conscious, because with the other segments, it's only nearly 45 minutes. What other things would you like to see, and from the Death Guard? Obviously, to stop you before you go on a thingy, but we will have the codexes as well, hopefully next week. So we're going to do a full review of the codexes, and especially Andy, who's a veteran Death Guard player's first initial thoughts. And I'll try to keep him out of the book somewhat. Obviously not too much, because I want Gay's ideas, but I don't want him to go full, I want to get a good insight of what the Death Guard Codex has to offer, basically. And I'll be interested to see what points are like. Yeah. Because I think the points in the Codex will either make or break it. Yeah. Because you don't want to be seeing Death Shroud at 200. I know it's exaggerating, but like 200 for 3 models. Do you know what I mean? You want to see them. Do you think they'll go up much?
I think they will, but it depends what they're going to do on the data sheet, right? I mean, if that rumour is true and they go up to T7, there's no way they can leave the -1 to wound on there.
And they can't stay at 110 points for 3. It's impossible.
It's
because I'm just trying to think with -1 to wound on them as well, what can really do serious damage to them?
If you've got, I mean, the problem is as well the synergies with other stuff. Yeah. You throw a Chaos Sorcerer in there, and you -1 damage.
Oh, it's disgusting.
You can pop a strap for -1 to hit, -1 to wound, -1 damage in combat.
Yeah. You may as well just leave them alone, don't you?
At that point, yeah.
Even now, I try to avoid them.
Unless they're on your home objective.
Yeah. Which at that point, if they're on your home objective, something's gone seriously south.
That was me one shining bit of light in that horrendous Tau game is I ended the game on his objective with a 6-man unit of
silver linings and all that.
I'd lost 100 to 50 or something.
But I had it, though. I did have it.
Yeah, but he just ran off from me. I couldn't catch him.
In Tau fashion.
Or is it tactical retreat?
Is that what it's called? We usually call it
being a pussy.
To get him involved. I'm just trying to think anything else I want to cover on I've got a bit of a list here. Anything you want to say, And?
No.
I really, just looking at it again, I really like the idea of Angron coming back for guaranteed. Because the thing
anything you can guarantee,
you
can obviously
bank on it, can't you? And then just be like the Berserker Strength 4 is a bit of an oversight of the whole episode. Berserker
I think 4. With you saying that, so your opinion is they're under strength, and the new character is. That makes me think that they're going to do something with a strat or something that will allow you to make up for that.
Yeah, but you get +2 strength on the charge.
So,
but I don't know. I think they should be strength 5. I think they should be strength 5. Even if they go up to strength 7 on the charge, I don't care. Blade Guard, strength 5, go up to strength 7, and Blood Angels, and they're way worse. Way worse to go into.
Yeah.
So the extra strength on a Berserker is justified. Because the Berserkers, they go in, and they rage you, and they're only strength 4.
Yeah.
But you've got to take that detachment, forget that. If you don't take that detachment, you've got Berserkers at strength 4. You may as well take Cultists.
So how many detachments have you ended up with?
Oh, I don't know. Like I say, I've only seen peaks of, obviously, leaks.
So we've got 7, because 7's our number.
Ah, cool. Khorne won't have 8. Khorne will not have 8 detachments.
No, because...
Slanesh had
6, didn't they?
Slanesh?
Yeah.
Did they? Oh, I haven't got the codex on me, I'll show you. It's still in cellophane, I can't wait to smell it.
Love a good boot.
Yeah. We should. Oh, can't we get the codexes for World Eaters? That's going to be crazy. 8 bound.
It's been so long since I've had a codex. other than the CSM.
Yeah.
Because I had a Space Wolves one.
Like CSM Codex.
Yeah.
Okay. But, so, the 8 band are rumoured to lost Geordie strength 15 on the charge.
That's outrageous, mate.
But
that doesn't need to be in the game.
But they've lost it. They're going down to strength 8, but with anti-vehicle monster 3+. But then, like we touched on earlier, if you give them dev wounds in that's fucking gross.
That's nasty.
Surely there'll be some sort of restriction. It'll say, hopefully, dev wounds other than 8 bound. Because even an 8 bound, like even somebody who spams 8 bound like I do, I just couldn't imagine being like, okay, 30 hits through, any 3s to wound here.
Just take your Land Raider off the table.
Yeah, any 3s to wound here are 2 damage each. So statistically, how many attacks do 8 bound get now? 3 each, maybe more. So let's say between 6 of them they gain 18 attacks. So it's not that many, but you can give them sustained hits still.
Yeah, so you're gonna get 3 sustained, aren't you? In there.
I don't know if they've got any access to.
Do they hit on 3s?
Yeah, all 2s.
Is that like 15 hits?
And then a third of them go through, so that's 20 damage because of 2 damage each. If 10 wounds go through, it's a third because they're wounding on 3s. 20 damage to anything monster vehicle. But like I say, we haven't seen the full thingy. No. Well, I should imagine it's Summit. If they do get dev wounds,
or do you reckon it will get dev wounds up to 6?
Oh no, because
like
then
a tank shock type thing.
No, because then if you do that,
it's lost damage.
Berserkers do 6 more. Do 6. Oh, it's, for you've got to roll a double 6 for it. You still have to unlock it. You've lost your advance and charge for that.
What's your double 6 on your blood roll?
Yeah.
Right.
But then again, if you bring Angon back, you haven't got to worry at all because
3 points.
You've got nothing. But I would 100% bring Angon back.
Yeah.
Every turn. I've seen it where people have been like me, kamikaze and Angron up the middle for kill 50 points of cultists.
Well, last time you played me with Gellerman, he didn't get back up, and that's on a 3.
Oh yeah, never
it's
even first start rolling, yeah.
So to have it guaranteed,
yeah.
Even Fabius Bile,
yeah, on a 2+. Titus, the mighty Lieutenant Titus, the mighty Lieutenant Titus with no invulnerable save, and the shit he's seen over the millennia.
Oh yeah,
no invuln save on
probably brushes his teeth with a Tyranid spine.
I'll show these.
Yeah.
But yeah, sweet. I think we've covered everything I want to cover, mate, unless you've got any final words on
there. That's it. Really excited, to be honest. Look good. The only other thing I'd say is the combat patrols look really good.
Oh, they do.
Really happy with the Death Guard ones.
If you was to start again now, this is probably the perfect time. You buy 2 or 3 of those combat patrols and you are set for a great army. I can't wait to see the influx back again of Plague Marines.
Yeah.
I feel like you never see a Plague Marine anymore.
No, I used to love running 50 of them and rhinos.
50 of them. All of heavy combat. Oh, do you think you'll get the melee and shooty?
Possibly.
I'd like to see that.
I think I think they'll leave us on like heavy plague weapons.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to go back to. Because I think we just had too many options before. You had the cleaver, which was like a D6 +1 damage.
Oh my god! I forgot that even existed. The cleaver.
Yeah. And obviously the flail as well.
The flail was different.
It was fine that you just like, right, I'm going to use this model, and it's like it just takes ages rolling the attacks and stuff.
I honest to God forgot that they existed. One of my introductory games to 9th edition was against that plague flail. And you used to make me fight last. Yeah. Not fight first, fight last. Yeah. And I'd send in 10 Deathwing Terminators, which were the most resilient in the game, because they could only be wounded on 4s. And you're like, you fight last, I'm just going to mince you with this flail now. Yeah. And any damage you don't take, it's carried over.
Yeah, it spills over.
Oh, Phil.
Yeah, the good old days.
Anyway, cheers for listening, guys. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this, and I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, it's been a good chat, mate.
Any excuse to get yapping about 40k.
Little plastic crack.
So I don't know what Andy's schedule's like, but we've been trying to get 1 a weekend.
Yeah, sounds good.
Also, we've got to still make time for gaming.
Oh yeah, we need roll dice.
But we do need to roll dice.
Yeah.
But that'll be great. Hopefully next week we'll have the Death Guard Codex, because that's really fucking mint. But yeah, cheers for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Also, last mention, CT Miniatures is going to do us a great service on saving you guys some money. So he's agreed to give us 2 codes. I don't know what the codes are right now, but I'll put it over the screen. And basically, any Death Guard or World Eater related products on his store, you're going to get so much money off, maybe 20% off, and we'll get some sort of kickback from it as well. So you're not only helping him, but you're supporting the channel as well. And that's quite a cool thing you're going to be doing. So when we talk about Death Guard again, or World Eaters again, he'll give us a code. Save you guys some money and supporting the channel. So yeah, cheers guys. Hope you have a fantastic weekend or whatever you're doing. And we'll see you next time.